where wealth meets wisdom and every conversation builds a legacy.
Y'all, welcome to the Legacy Lounge Live. I am so happy that you guys are here. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, let's admit all of these wonderful people that's in the waiting room first. Welcome in, everyone. So happy that you guys made it. Y'all came perfect timing. We just did the disclaimer here, and we're about to go ahead and get started with some of these icebreakers. And we have a special guest, Miss Danny. I've been calling you Danny Main, but it's Danny Shaner. But she's
Either
with
works.
the insurance. Yes, she's with the main insurance. And we're going to find all about insurance, health insurance, and all of your questions. Feel free to put it in chat. So I'm very excited. So happy to have you guys here. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on in. So we've been having a little fun while we were waiting in the waiting room. And if you would like to put it in chat, or if you would like to hop off, I would love to hear from you as well. So one fun one that I thought would be really cool to kind of break the ice is celebrity lookalikes. Celebrity lookalikes. If you don't have a celebrity lookalike, who was your crushing on back in the day? Who was your celebrity crush, right? So we were kind of brainstorming about that, but I would love to hear everybody's celebrity lookalike and or crush. If you would like to share, feel free, and we'll go from there. So anybody can jump in and get started. I'll go ahead and start because I have several. Mine is like three top ones, although people tend to say I look like several different other people. So when I was in middle school to about high school, I don't know if y'all are familiar with A Different World or Harlem Nights and all the things, Jasmine Guy, which was Whitley in A Different World. And then I was Maya, the singer, when I was in high school. And then now I get Remy Simone every now and then, but mainly Tia and Tamara, and particularly Tia Mowry is my lookalike. So who else would like to share?
I'll
I can
go.
see. Yeah, go ahead,
I
Nick.
think when I was younger, skinnier, um, my lookalike, a lot of people used to say I look like Aaliyah. And then I don't remember the actress's name, but the girl from Coming to America, the one that Eddie Murphy was courting, I got that a ton, especially because I always used to wear my hair pulled back into a lower bun. Nowadays, I don't know. I don't know who I may or may not look like. I don't really get anything now.
Okay.
Me myself, I think I still to this day get family members calling me Raven, or my father-in-law calls me Gina from Martin, so Tisha Campbell.
Mhm.
But definitely when I was skinnier, I could see the comparison to Gina because I had a big head and a skinny body. But other than that, yeah, those two are the main two I get. But
Yes.
everybody has a doppelganger.
Yes, at least one.
Mhm.
I've even seen myself in all different races, believe it or not. I've seen myself in every race. I was like, oh my gosh, like God was just like, I'm just gonna duplicate a bunch of Tashas and throw them all over the world. So that's pretty cool. Anybody else have a lookalike and or a crush? Or both of them? All right now.
I get told all the time that I look just like Brad Pitt.
I can see that just if I squinch my eyes and kind of turn this way.
No, but joking aside, I grew up watching Disney Channel, so early era Selena Gomez was probably my first crush growing up.
Yes, I love that. You said who, Reed?
Selena
Selena
Gomez,
Gomez.
Oh, yeah,
Wi-
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right.
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Mhm. You
You
got the
Read,
aged yourself
I
because he said growing up. I caught that, Tasha. You're like, who?
Yes. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, Wizard of Waverly Place.
Yes. Okay.
Reed, I feel a little bit older now. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate
Mhm.
it. But I am familiar with my kids. I am familiar with them. And yeah, Selena's always been a cutie. So really good taste there.
Mhm.
I've never really had any. I mean, I have some people that I thought were attractive, but as far as like crushes, yeah, no.
I mean, we crushed on all the boy bands growing up. Like mine was Lil Fizz from B2K or uh I don't know if anybody knows him, but back in the day, I don't like what he looked like now, but back in the day, I like Jesse McCartney. I mean, that was my husband when I grew up. I just knew it.
Hmm.
Victoria put in the chat the Mexican kid on The Sandlot. Great movie.
Come
Great
on,
movie.
Sam.
I think my forever crush is gonna be Denzel.
Okay.
He, first of all, he's just a great actor, and then his smile just took me away. Yeah, there's just something about him, the way he walks, his demeanor, his posture. Not to like grow up and marry him kind of thing, but I just think his whole presence really brings like joy or light of some sort, even if he's playing the villain in a role.
Okay. I love that. I love that. So that's really, really fun. And it made me think of, okay, Jasmine Jackson and Denzel, Adrian. I would say this gentleman, just simply because he's also, I've been told I look like him as well as Prince, the singer, the singer Prince.
I think the younger version of you, because I saw a picture, probably.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my Lord. As the old man,
Mhm.
I don't know any people always say. Come on, Jim. You're not even that old. We're in the same.
You know who Denzel Washington is, Jim. Everybody knows Denzel.
Yes. Yes. So I have one more icebreaker and then we're
That's
gonna
what I
go ahead
thought.
and jump right on in. So this one is just your career. So before you're in the career you are now, what did you think you were going to be doing with your life or doing in life when you were younger? Are you shocked or proud that you're in the position that you're in now?
Now, how young are we talking here? College or?
Just any time in your life, like some people just knew. I know I was gonna be a realtor. I know I ain't speaking for myself now because that's not what I knew. But some people just had a dream and they always wanted to be what they are now. And some people thought one way, and then over time they
Mm,
know why they're where they are.
I mean,
I
I
wanted
can
to be an
definitely say,
architect.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so I started my very first job was Finish Line at the mall. So definitely
Oh,
not a career goal. However, I was a nursing student, so I feel like that kind of plays a role into what I do now. And
mhm.
I mean, I took a little segue into sales in the liquor industry. But I feel like, maybe the nursing stuff and working, in healthcare before at a front desk reception, at a doctor's office kind of led me into my path now. So maybe that was, a little flashlight into my future.
Okay, I love
I
that,
could see
Jenny.
that. I could see that.
Okay.
Nick, did you have one?
So when I was going to college, my dream was to be an architect. Actually, I was doing architecture and interior design, but I love design. I love drafting. I still to this day will like just sketch a house or draft out a room just for the fun of it. As far as it being a career, I think I realized in college that I didn't want to turn that passion into a career and not like it. So anything leading with art, I kind of kept for myself, painting, sketching, drawing, sculpting, creating, anything like that, except nail art, which is probably why I ended up buying the salon where I was working. And then I could do endless amounts of mini canvases on people's nails. But yeah, that's what I wanted to be when I was growing up.
Okay.
Mhm. Awesome. I wanted to be a lawyer ever since I could remember. Always knew it. My mom just told everybody that's going to be my little lawyer. And after finishing my undergrad in criminal justice, and then working in a courthouse for 5 years, I realized that just wasn't my passion, working alongside lawyers. And I was like, this is what you got to put up with. This is what you got to do. Yeah, that's not for me. But I've always been, although I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, I've always been at heart and in my actions, an entrepreneur. So, which I told y'all before, I was selling honey buns. That's how I met my husband in high school. He was just always trying to steal my honey buns and my chips and all that stuff. So yeah, I just knew entrepreneurship was, or some version of it was what I was going to end up doing after I decided to no longer pursue the path of criminal justice. So real
Okay.
estate is a version of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely it is.
Hmm.
All right, y'all. So those are all good answers. We're gonna go ahead and dive right on in. Okay, we got another guest. Come on in. Come on into the lounge now. Thank you. Welcome everybody for being here. I'm so grateful that each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much. Let me see. Somebody put something in the chat. Child,
Mm-hmm.
being a dentist
Yeah.
for 10 years. Forensic, yes. Come on, forensic psychologist. Okay, I can see the transition though, especially with the adoption specialist. That's wonderful. I love it. All right, so we're gonna start rolling on into the panelists so that we can get talking to Danny. Thank y'all so much for the answers. These is very interesting to learn, everybody. Okay, childhood protection advocate. All right, so we're gonna start off with Miss Candace. You first again, girl. So my question for you, yours is called real estate health and wealth, or real estate mental health and stability, because our mental health is where is our client's mental health, is definitely necessary in this industry. So for your question, how does housing stress and instability affect mental health over time?
Well, I'm happy to get myself out the way first and foremost, because I do feel like everybody's answers thereafter will tie into what real estate is going to talk about anyways. Because if you've ever purchased a home, or went through the process of selling a home, you know how stressful it is. And if you haven't, then it's important that you get the right people on your team, to explain the steps for you and set those expectations up front. I think that mentally it could be very wearing on someone, especially depending on various situations of what they're going through. People, have to sell a house because of divorces or change major lifestyle change in work, or just any different kinds of reasons, right? So it's important to understand your timeline, understand the expectations of what the market is setting for you, and just really understand that although you may not think this is a big deal mentally and health wise, your lifestyle is completely affected by where you decide to house yourself. So, your lifestyle mentally, physically, just everything financially, all around, it affects you. So it's important to understand how those two connect.
Great answer.
And
I love it. I'm gonna keep myself off mute because I keep forgetting to
I could
unmute.
see that, Candace. I think the community people live in, they could either thrive in that community or that community could like literally destroy them.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely. Okay. So, Candice, how does where and how we live influence our financial decisions and our long-term peace in relation to real estate?
Well, exactly what Nick just brought up. Establishing what community you decide to live in, is a big difference. I don't know if you guys live in a community where there's a neighborhood Facebook page and everybody's talking about what's going on in the community, whether it be the HOA or the neighbor done left their dog out or the neighbor done let their dog crap in my yard, or, just it's there. Trust me, I live in one of those communities. It's, or the fact that I live in front of a gun range. I personally don't mind hearing the shots, go off at 7 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't, I'm a deep sleeper, but I cannot tell you how many times I wake up to those posts about, oh, they're at it again. Well, you decided to live in a community that was in front of a gun range, in the middle of where we at. So I just think that it's important to consider those factors. Where your children are going to go to school, that affects people mentally. If your children are not getting the proper education, or if they are, where you decided to, zone yourself. Otherwise, you're going to have to go pay for that education because you want to put them in. So again, it all ties back into financial well-being, and like Nick mentioned, your community, where you decide to house yourself matters long term.
Okay, very good. Very, very nice. All right, thank you, Candice. Those were wonderful answers. Thank you.
Yes.
So we're going to slide on over to Mr. Reed Pearson. He is our financial advisor. and co-host of the panelist as well. So, Mr. Reed, let me see. So, how does mental and physical health challenges quietly derail financial goals?
So I would say for starters, the mental piece is a big one. There are plenty of studies out there that say mental stability is directly correlated with financial stability. Um, and I mean, the reality is emotions put money in motion. So if you're emotionally unstable, you're probably not going to be making the best decisions with your money. Um, and it's easy to look at it on a micro scale. I mean, we all are familiar with the term, impulse buys, right? So you're going through the checkout at the grocery store. I'm always picking up a Red Bull and a pack of Reese's. That's my thing. But we all have our own thing, and it's just kind of this quick emotional decision. And as those kind of add up over time, it shows its number on the budget at the end of the day. So kind of trying to have a plan in place and removing that aspect is easier said than done. But on the physical front, I would say, I mean, I think that's why we're here today is to talk about what you can do to avoid those situations. If something happens physically, you got to have yourself protected, your wallet protected.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't answer that better. You are just a pro at everything, and it just flows so well. And then you put a personal anecdote that everybody can relate to. They have their vices, whether it be
Right.
Red Bull or caffeine or what have you. Everybody, some people just go to Starbucks every day. They just gotta have that coffee, right? So that was really, really good. So, what if someone is financially stable but mentally exhausted? How can it affect their finances?
I mean, there's a inevitability there in that there's going to be an explosion. We call that burnout. Whether
Mhm.
that's you give your boss the bird and now you're in a position where you don't have income coming in, or you go on a vacation and you splurge. It's never a good situation. So, what I always tell people is if you're starting to lean towards that situation where you may need some mental health, you need help in one way, shape, or form, whether that's calling a close friend, or family member, or even hiring a counselor. It's important to invest in yourself in certain situations.
I love that. I love that. And it's so important. It's the last thing you want to do is get to the point where you burn out and
Yep.
you just throw in the towel. So I absolutely love that. I have one more for you.
Okay.
I already asked you that. Oh, and I didn't get with Candace, but that's okay. So I want to ask you a red flag question. What financial warning sign do people ignore until the damage is done?
I would say the first thing that came to my mind is credit card debt.
Mhm.
It is a massive problem in our country. Um, I think people have a very easy time swiping the card, but then as statements start coming in, they're not paying off the balance in full. Interest starts adding up, and all of a sudden they're in the hole. So that's a huge problem. I mean, we could talk about debt all day long, but credit card debt in particular it's a problem.
Love it. Love it. Yes, so y'all make sure y'all don't get victim of credit card debt. It's so easy to just swipe that card. Next thing you know, you're out of there. Let's see. Facts, credit card debt is the biggest downfall of so many people in her line of work as well. Yes, credit card debt will really derail your home ownership if it gets out of hand with the whole debt to ratio or debt to income ratio. So make sure y'all are being mindful of that. All right, so we're gonna mosey on over to Nicolette. All right, Nikki. So life insurance, health, and family protection is
Mhm.
your lane. So how does illness or loss impact the family's financial and emotional stability?
Illness starts to affect the family before the loss. That's the first thing. So a lot of the times, especially now, there's a lot of people a part of the sandwich generation. They're taking care of their children and their parents. And if someone does get ill, right, and you're helping to take care of them anyway, it creates a financial burden on the family because the difference with the illness is that there is no lump sum of money to help you out, right? So you either need to have a disability insurance or a long-term care in place. When it comes to a family loss, if they have life insurance, they have the coverage to help out the family financially. But if they do not have life insurance and they have nothing else in place, the family is kind of left with the burden of the burial, if there's going to be a burial or a cremation or some kind of end of life arrangements. And there isn't always the means for that. And then you know what it rolls into? What Reed said, credit card debt. If you don't have emergency cash on hand, you don't have a lump sum of money to help pay for these end of life expenses, a lot of families will pull together, put it on their credit cards, whatever they can. And a lot of these places will allow you to do that, right? They don't care if you go into debt. They care that they get their money. So it creates a huge financial burden on the family.
Love that. I love that. And there's a lot of things that people don't really think of. You want to have that safety net or that just in case. And those are just conversations that needs to be had. And that's pretty much the whole purpose of this podcast is to have people educated and just have these conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is a protection planning part of overall financial wellness or success?
Protection planning starts with protecting yourself and your income, right? So if you are working and you're bringing home an income, you absolutely should have some kind of life insurance in place. But life insurance could be put in place way before you even start earning an income, right? We went over this before on plenty of these podcasts, that they could be put in place while you are a child by your parent, or if you have a child, you could put it in place with the child. The time horizon for a child is usually about 85 years. And so that child is like building compound interest in their life insurance policy in the form of cash value. And one of the misconceptions people think is if I get like a $50,000 life insurance, that's what pays out. And that's not correct. That's the minimum. So the life insurance policy, like a whole life policy, will continue to grow the death benefit the longer that you have it. So if you get your child like a $50,000 or $100,000 life insurance and their life expectancy is 85 or older, they will double, triple, or quadruple that amount of money. So a $100,000 investment could turn into $500,000 payout, which changes your bloodline, really. It changes your lineage, where most people are not leaving that much for their children unless they're wealthy now, versus trying to plan out their lineage that maybe they could pay for their burial or have enough that their family could pay for their burial and don't have any added expenses, but their children and their grandchildren could actually leave wealth.
I love that. That's so good. And so for your red flag question is, what protection gap signals long-term risk for families?
First red flag is not having any protection. That's the first red flag, because if you are accumulating assets, everything is at risk. Everything. If you are producing family, everything is at risk. If you're multiplying, you're having children, you're getting married, you're buying a house, everything is now at risk because your income is what's paying for those things. Your loss of life results in the loss of your income. Here in Texas, if you're married and you have debt that you've been paying off with your income, it now becomes your spouse's debt. So every state is a little bit different, but here in Texas, you acquire your spouse's debt upon their departure. So planning for things like that is very important. A lot of people only plan for their stuff, but you also have to keep in mind, if my spouse passes and they have $100,000 worth of credit card debt, that now becomes my debt and only my debt without that person's income.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So it's just so many different things. So that is really, really good. Thank you very much. All right, so we have all our panelists that answered some wonderful questions. So we're going to do a little intermission before we get over to Danny. So we're going to play a little game I like to call This or That, Health and Wealth Edition. And everybody get involved with the chat and everything like that and answer the questions, what route you think it will be. We'll get with Danny, go over all of these different things that's going on in the health insurance world. Lord knows we want to know about that. And then we're also going to do a quick game of Kahoot at the very end. If you would like to stick around, please do. And the winner, Danny has something, a little treat for you. She has a virtual gift card for you, whoever wins. So that would be good if you'd like to stick around for that. All right, this or that. So which habit which habit slips first when you get busy? Eating well or tracking your money? I'm about to mess up my money now. All right, that's across the board. If we have to choose one, which both are bad, but I gotta make sure my money is good. Your most valuable asset is your ability to earn income. That's right, Reed. I love that. You will need to have a dietitian on next month.
Usually there's one on Read. My mom's not on tonight. She's a registered dietitian.
No kidding.
That's good. That's good. I love that. Okay. So which feels harder to stay consistent with, drinking water or saving consistently? Ooh, am I gonna lie? Um, kind of both of them, but I think drinking water is worse though. Luckily, I'm friends with Nicolette. She's like, "Have you drunk your water? Have you drunk your tea?" She has the remedy for everything. Yes,
But
ma'am.
I have a question because of this answer. So is this like us? Is it harder for us or in general? Like is this like, what other people would say?
Uh-huh.
This is just us. So
Oh, then I put the wrong answer. It's not saving.
okay, okay, Shannon, trying to show out, talking about all you drink is water. I need to get like you.
I have tea. Look.
Yes. Oh, look at Danny. Yeah, these are good answers. Good answers. Okay. So now this one's funny. Your I'll start Monday habit is usually health or money related. Like I'll get to that Monday. Listen,
I get
health.
to that Monday. Like starting at the gym kind of
Yeah, like
conversation.
everybody's like, you know what? I'm gonna start on Monday, and Monday might not come, but they don't think like that. They think, I'll take care of it. I'll handle it on Monday. And then Monday turns into the end of the year and they start all over again.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna help. Big help, baby. Yes.
In my
Okay.
defense, I have a defense. I tell my husband, you got to wait till I drop this baby and then I can start working out again. I know. She about
What?
to call she about to call me Ike, y'all, because that's who kept her right in the gym. And now that I can't go, she like, where's my Ike? I need my Ike.
Where is Ike? And even when she wasn't as consistent, but she was definitely more consistent. I'm not rushing her though, because she mean in the gym to me, y'all. She be really having me burning and carrying on in the next day,
That's
right?
right. Because if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. Anime.
That's where no pain, no gain came from.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
right. That's right. Listen. So, okay, one more. So, which do you avoid more, even though you know better? Your doctor checkups or your financial checkups? Cover your eyes, Reed. Um, Man. Financial check. Everybody that's saying financial checkups. Reed Pearson, what is your information?
I'll have to drop it in the chat. That's why they call me the money doctor.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
I love
Take,
that.
take two. I'll call you in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to Reed, and then for your generational and making sure everything is locked in that you talk to Reed about. Talk to Nicolette. They'll drop their information in the chat. Yes, better money habits. I know. Amen.
Come on, Danielle, staying on top of both. It's good.
Right. Showing out.
Listen, I got Nicolette on top of my stuff last year.
I'm gonna say doctor because I've been needing to go, like my general doctor, I've been on top of eye exam. I need those checked ASAP. But listen, so if you see me on the road, it'll be okay. My prescription's a little behind, but I can squint and still see. All right.
No, ma'am.
Right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go right ahead and get to Miss Danny, our guest speaker of tonight. Thank y'all so much. Those were wonderful answers. We had some fun with that. So, Danny,
Yes, ma'am.
what mistakes do people make when choosing health insurance?
Oh gosh, so many. So
Mhm.
many. I brought it down to at least seven big ones. And I say seven, those are the really big ones. So the first one, I think all of us are, pretty guilty of this, is not focusing enough or focusing too much on the premium, right? And that's what I've been seeing a lot of lately is, especially if you Google health insurance on Facebook, the one thing that people are asking for is, I just want the cheapest, right? I hate the word cheapest. So the first thing I like to ask is, really just the less expensive plan I think ends up being the most expensive because just I think it just it pays out the least in the long term of things, right? So a good example is when you're buying
No, we lost her. Danny.
Did her Wi-Fi go out?
Oh no. Short technical difficulties, folks. Give us 1 second. I don't have.
Well, while she's working on that, once she started talking, I thought about who her icebreaker person was.
hello.
Like who she looks like. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna say it
Hi.
after you get back to us.
Worst time ever for that to happen. Sorry about that.
Right?
And so really this hits home because during open enrollment, what ended up happening was a lot of people, I think they were marketing $0, for essentially your premium every month. But when I was navigating that with everybody, is we were diving in and going through all the different benefits. And what they didn't know was they could have a deductible that was between like $10,000 and $16,000. So essentially everything, yeah, it's $0 a month because anytime you step foot into the doctor's office, you're paying everything out of pocket, right? The second one is you're not checking up on your providers, or you need to check up on your providers, make sure they're in network. It's really big, especially if you have someone who you absolutely want to keep seeing, whether it's a specialist or a primary care. If that's a make or break for you, you need to make sure that that's something that's important. You have your agent look that up with you. Again, ignoring deductibles and your out of pocket maxes, right? This is going to be something that you have to pay before insurance companies even take care of anything for you. Okay. So if that's something that you need to go ahead and save, right? What Nicolette and what Reed were saying is make sure you have that in your savings ahead of time. Understanding your health needs. This is a really big one that I do personally is as an agent is I'm running my own personal health needs analysis with my clients as I'm getting on the phone with them one-on-one. I'm making sure that I'm understanding personally with their family and what they need. Okay. Everyone is, it's not a one size fits all. One person, Nicolette could be totally different with her family versus a single person who is 26 getting off their parents' plan. They're not going to need the same benefits or the same coverage. Okay. Also understanding the lingo. A lot of people, I really make sure they understand what's a PPO, what's an HMO, what's an EPO, right? Those are really big. They can be very, confusing to understand if you don't understand that. Overlooking prescription coverage. If you're taking a prescription that your doctor has given to you and your company or you're self-employed and now you want to get into a new insurance plan, you need to make sure that insurance is going to cover it. Otherwise, that could be another expense out of your pocket too. Especially big ones right now that I'm finding are injectables. Insurance companies don't like them. That's 100% out of your own pocket. And then another big one at the end is missing enrollment deadlines. We just came out of open enrollment for the marketplace. That's it. You're pretty much SOL at this point for marketplace, but there are other options, right? Private, we can enroll anybody any time of the year with private. Okay. There are certain other guidelines with private, making sure that you can be qualified through medical. We don't go through how much you make every month or every year. So there are just certain things to kind of go through, but those are really the big ones that I like to focus on.
Okay, wonderful. And so, quick question, and if anybody in the chat has any specific questions for Danny or any of us, but for Danny for the health insurance, please drop them down. She'll be happy to answer those questions, and then she'll put her information where she can be reached in the chat as well. So, Danny, for the injectables, is that like for the people that need like Ozempic or things like that?
Yeah, so that was a big one that being in this industry, something that I've been finding out is the GLP ones, I think is what that's called. It's a lot of them are not FDA approved. And they just, there could be really bad side effects. So you have to look at it from a medical standpoint, especially when they're trying to, just make sure that you're qualified, is they don't know what it's going to happen in the long term. So they're just not essentially approving them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And okay, so how does being underinsured affect both finances and access to care?
Yes, that's really good. So breaking that down between financially and just access to care. So Reed and Nikki kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Is medical debt is just really the biggest answer for that financially. Is your high deductibles, your copays, your out-of-pocket maxes, everything essentially you're not going to be able to afford if you don't have that in your savings, which is going to equal to stress, right? One ER visit or hospital stay, that's going to lead into a ton of bills that are in the thousands. Okay. That's going to end up 100% your responsibility if you have a very high deductible that you're not ready to pay. And essentially, a lot of people will tap into their emergency fund for that, savings, 401k, credit cards. They'll have to pull out loans for that, which ultimately leads into bankruptcy, all just for essentially a medical bill, right? As far as access to care, if you're underinsured, it just means you're delaying your care. You could just be skipping your care altogether. And all of that could have potentially been prevented.
And then you have something in the chat too, Danny.
Anything specific for people that are pregnant or have new babies. So yeah, there are different plans that essentially they're catered to, like I said, not one size fits all. So there's plans out there that are catered to women who are pregnant. There are plans that you can get babies on, for new moms, new dads. I think there's just options for everybody. And that's a time where you can set up a consultation with an agent to really figure out what works best.
Okay. Is it anything that's missed or specific things that people probably wouldn't know that they would need that they should look out for?
In regards to just specifically pregnancy or just in general, I really think it's just knowing how much your doctor visits are. Because I think that's one thing that we're just programmed, which I hear a lot of is, especially on the private side is, we don't have to follow the ACA guidelines when it comes to pregnancy. And that freaks people out sometimes because I think we're like hardwired into thinking we have to have pregnancy listed in a coverage when really, it's just a matter of changing your mindset. If we change our mindset and understand that technically, if we just self-pay and we understand how much we need to pay for each visit, you're really going to the doctor maybe once, a month for 9 months. You can pre-plan for those expenses ahead of time, especially if you're planning to have a baby, right? You can get the self-pay rate, usually get a discount with that doctor. And sometimes it turns out to be a little less expensive than having it actually on the plan, depending on how much your copays and deductibles are. So I don't know if that's really how you wanted me to answer that. But to me, I think that's the best way is really understanding what your coverages are and how much you're expecting to pay.
All right. And then you have another one.
Nicolette, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So a PPO is actually one of the best ones that you want to try to find, because that's going to give you the more flexible option where you can essentially go to any doctor you'd like, right? It has both in-network and out-of-network benefits. You don't need referrals. I think it's just, you can truly just have advantage to wherever you want to go. And HMO is a little bit more limited. Okay. HMOs, you have to have referrals to go see certain specialists. You only have in-network benefits, right? So God forbid something big happens and you have to be life flighted or get an ambulance to go somewhere. They're not going to ask you to see your insurance card first to make sure they take you somewhere in network. They're literally just going to take you somewhere to save your life, and then you're going to have to figure out the rest later. So if you can help it, definitely try to find a plan with the PPO.
Awesome. Awesome. Great answers. Okay, so what should individuals and families review at the start of the new year?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, definitely make sure, confirm your doctors are in your network. Okay. Especially if you're on a company plan. Companies change different networks very often. They could go from a Blue Cross to a Cigna to a United Healthcare from year to year. And sometimes when they do that, they may not stay with the same contract so that they can save some money. By doing that, a really big one that I've even seen is an ER cost, right? An ER copay can go from $50 to $500. So even with a doctor, one doctor can stay contracted with, one network essentially, and then completely leave. So that's a big one. Again, another deductible, did your max out of pocket reset? Okay. If it did, make sure that you get all of your visits, everything that you need to get done. All of that starts back at zero, start of the new year. Okay. So I always like to tell all of my clients, if you have any elective surgeries or procedures, try to bundle them up in the beginning of the year. That way you're kind of protected come the middle to the end of the year where everything's already met. Then insurance can take care of everything for you at the end.
Okay.
And really, same thing is your premium. Did your premium come and increase even more? If your company's premium increased, then yours probably did too on your paychecks. So just kind of make sure that that's all taken care of.
And you have another question in the chat.
Let's see. Do you have to take a company plan? Is it better? That's a really good one. No, you don't. Usually, honestly, I like to review that if a client comes to me with a company plan. 9 times out of 10, company plans are usually the better one to stick with, especially because they do cover pre-existing conditions. So that's something that I like to, again, it's not cookie cutter. So I really like to evaluate that from client to client and just make sure it's the best fit. But if you're not even able to see your doctors and you're overpaying, I weigh the pros and cons of that. Are you just paying for a plan and then paying even more on the other side just to pay out of pocket?
Great questions. So, because we want to also be able to get your game and get the prizes going, I'm asking you one more question.
Sounds good.
So, what red flags in health plans are commonly overlooked?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Honestly, I think it's just, you don't see it very often. I guess I haven't seen it in a while because I have a PPO and I sell mostly PPOs. But pre-authorizations, those are big ones. If you need a pre-authorization for any type of procedure or even just to have basic care, which you find a lot with the HMOs, sometimes they'll hold you back from even seeing a doctor or from just getting the care that the doctor's recommending. And that can, again, affect your health and affect what you need to get done. And sometimes it's just straight up denied, regardless of what the doctor wants. So that's usually a really big red flag that you need to make sure it's going to be covered.
Oops, I spelled what?
Oh gosh.
What's the name of you?
It really depends. Like I said, I think it just, having a one-to-one consultation and having a conversation with each client is really going to depend on certain pre-existing conditions.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. That was very informative, Danny. I am so happy that you're here. It just
Thank you.
really kind of expands your mind. And thank you for everybody that also asked wonderful questions in the chat. It just expands
Absolutely.
my mind about health insurance. Because when I'm looking at health insurance, listen, it's like a different language for me. So to
Oh,
be
it's overwhelming. Yeah.
yes, educator and someone that can really break it down. It's wonderful to have someone like you. Everyone, she has her QR code listed and her business name. So if you want to reach out to her personally, just get a quote. It doesn't hurt, doesn't cost anything to get a quote. And that's true with all of us across the board. We all do our services. We want to do a consult. It's complimentary. We just want to make sure we're able to answer those questions for you and get you taken care of the best way we know how. So look us up, holler at us. All right. So with that being said, we have a little mini game, and Danny has, a gift card. I don't know what type of gift card, but it's going to be a gift card. Somebody's going to get a real great treat for the top winner of that. So we're going to switch it over. It's going to be a little game called Kahoot, and it's 10 questions. Accuracy wins, and $50 Amazon. Hey. It only goes it only goes to our audience. Everybody's welcome to play, but it only goes, of course, to our guests. Because child, no, I would have won that, try to win that Amazon gift card now. But congrats to whoever wins. So let's see. I am going to share my screen. Okay. So content, share sound, share.
If you guys are on your phone, you needed to play Kahoot. But if you're on a computer, you're just going to scan the code or put it in.
Yes, let me move this out the way. Okay, we need to go there. All right, so which one was it? It was this one. Eventually. Okay, host live. Y'all let me know if y'all can see it and hear it.
We can see it, but don't believe we have audio.
You hear it?
Got it now.
Fix that. We can get started. Let's do this thing. All right, y'all. Pretty good. All
That was a
right.
straight guess.
Listen. All right now. Ooh, all right, Candace. Period. Owen on the top of the charts as usual.
Unusual.
All right. Y'all smart. Oh, nice. I see you, Katie.
feel like that's kind of old, but
This game is all about who goes fastest, and I don't like it.
mhm.
The accuracy on this, so it should go off of accuracy.
Okay, look at me remembering something Nick taught us.
All right, y'all are neck and neck.
How fast them answers came in.
Y'all were paying attention a little bit. Wow. Okay. Great job. Oh, Katie on fire. I just saw
I'm in
that.
for it.
Wow. Great job. Oh, okay now. Two more. We have another scenario here. It's tricky.
That was a tricky one, but I got it.
That's a tricky one.
Mhm.
Katie's on fire.
Oh, now. Last one. Let's get it. Wow. Y'all are doing so well. All right, Katie. And right after is Candace and Owen. Congratulations, folks.
I'm bored.
Yes. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much. And we have a few minutes to spare. Let me see. Great job, everyone. So if you'll give your email directly to Danny, so that she can send you your oh, Owen. So she can see your prize. Congratulations, Katie. Good job, everyone. And that's pretty much it. And we have our next episode, episode 8. It will be everything. Everybody is, of course, welcome, but everything Black History Month. We're going to be talking about um everything when it comes to finance and Black History Month. So please tune in for that. We can learn together. And if you want to compare notes and see what you learned in school in comparison for what you learned from these historians and African American studies, we would love to know. And just anything that you've been curious about or have questions about, feel free to use this platform to ask those questions. That's what we're here for. But other than that, y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Thank everybody for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Ah, see you Thursday.